Yeah, so a lot of good things. We're rolling, absolutely rolling at the winter or fall time of 1997. Uh, we've got Mike Ness on our side, working with Wank, which was just crazy. And what happened next is just magic. So we got played on Jed the Fish's Catch of the Day because people are talking. There's buzz that comes along with having, you know, a rock star producing somebody. Like there's a buzz on the band, and so we had a buzz. Jed the Fish played us for Catch of the Day, and I guess the following week, um, the program director of K Rock, Kevin Weatherly, I guess he had decided, hey, let's listen to some. I used to have listening meetings, and he listened to "Forgiven," which was the song that Jed the Fish played on Catch of the Day, and I guess he decided. He goes, "Well, are these guys signed? No, they're not signed." And he goes, "Okay, cool. Add them to full rotation on K. Add them to full rotation." And they were like, "What? Full rotation? What are we doing with these guys?" And so, anyway, I'm working at my job where I'm doing accounting and office work, right? And I get a phone call from Jed the Fish. And he goes, "Is this Danny Walker?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "This is Jed the Fish." And I said, "Are you kidding?" And he goes, "No, I'm not." He goes, "And your life is about to change." And he did like this, like a little wicked laugh. And I thought, that is Jed the Fish. Holy shit. And then I heard women giggling in the back, and I think it might have been some of the other DJs with him. And he goes, Wank Forgiven is being added to full rotation on the world famous K Rock immediately. And he goes, have a nice day, and hung up on me. And I was like, holy shit, man, either somebody's messing with me or this is going to be pretty incredible. And that had to be like a little after lunch. And I was driving home in traffic on the 55, and I heard like some Smashing Pumpkins song, and then brand spanking new or something, and wacka wacka, and into our song. And our song sounded really good on the radio, and it was rocking. And then it ends, and it goes into Pearl Jam. And I was like, holy shit, we're being spun in between the bigs. Like, this is crazy. And it was nuts, right? From that point on, it was total chaos because we didn't have a manager. Really what we had was we had Lauren, who was a consultant who wanted us to sign as a consultant deal. We had some friends who we had Mike Ness, who was like championing us, helping us. So we had some fucking smart people, some good people around us. But suddenly labels were interested in us because we were on the radio, and we didn't have anybody who could talk to them because they damn sure didn't want to talk to me because I was a nightmare. So we needed a manager, and Lauren had introduced us to this girl named Eileen Groby, and she brought in to Time Bomb when we were there to introduce us to Steve Stewart, who was the manager of Stone Temple Pilots. So we were kind of wooed by those. Stone Temple's doing pretty fucking good right now. So that might not be a bad idea. We didn't know. Like, I read a bunch of books on the music business, but we didn't know what the right moves were. I just knew net versus gross, and that the bands are usually the last people to get paid in the music business. So prepare to, not make any money. So we thought, well, this guy from Stone Temple Pilots has a pretty good track record. At least we know he knows how to break a band. And so maybe we should give him a go. And so we did. We locked in with him, and it was co-managing him and Eileen. And what ended up happening was they got us on a conference call with Rick Rubin. and Tim Devine, or not, actually a conference call with Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin goes, let's go to dinner. Rick Rubin said, first we'll do Forgiven, then we'll put out on the radio. So it's surreal, right? So we're driving around in Steve Stewart's car, and he says, hey guys, if you haven't quit your jobs, it's time to quit your jobs, just so you know. Kind of weird, but he's like, you're definitely getting a record deal, like, quickly. And so we went to dinner. I don't know if it was Argyle or some fancy place at a hotel in LA, and we were sitting with Rick Rubin, Tim Devine, George Draculius, and our manager. And I'm sitting next to Rick Rubin, and he's like, so you write the songs, huh? And I was like, yeah, I do, yeah. I mean, they're really making me feel fancy and shit. And he's like, hey man, what are you listening to? I said, you know, the Beatles and stuff. I'm a huge Beatles fan, you know, but I'm into like AC/DC and Bob Marley and The Cult and all kinds of shit, Rancid. And he goes, the Beatles. He goes, I got the White Album in my car right now. And so, and Billy was like, I can't believe you produced Slayer, man, you know. So it was pretty fun. We were just all having a fun time with him and the other guys, and they all said, you can pick your label, Sony, American, Deaf American. You're gonna get the same deal that any one of us. I think it was like $250,000 or something like that to put the record out. Be it known, our record cost us like $2,500 to make, so less than $3,000, and these guys were offering us $250,000. But we were stoked. They all left. You know, we all left the dinner, you know, to think about it. Stewart says, hey, we're gonna think about it, figure it out. Let me talk to the guys. And so we were bailing. It's funny because Rick Rubin had to borrow like $100 bill from some other dude. All I got is hundreds. I can't tip the valet one of my hundreds. So I think Tim Devine gave him like a 20 or something. It's just funny because he's got a Bentley out there, right? Anyway, let me get back to the story. So over the weekend, I get a call from Steve Stewart and our attorney who we got with Steve Stewart. Steve Stewart brought in Eric Greenspan, who's like the king of attorneys, right? Red Hot Chili Peppers, Bob Dylan, everybody. Like Eric Greenspan's the fucking man. And so he's our attorney. They get me on the phone. It might have been a Saturday night. And it's that Saturday night, right? And it's them, and it's Guy Oseary, who is, I think now U2's manager, or Bruce Springsteen's, or maybe both of them. Anyway, he was Madonna's right-hand man, and he's made king of A&R there at Maverick, Warner Brothers. And he signed like Alanis, Prodigy, and Candlebox, and all that shit. So they said that Maverick's coming in over everybody's deal. And they're offering, you know, $600,000 for your album. And I was like, what? Like, seemed like a lot of money. But it also was like, well, Madonna, like, what's she gonna do with us? Like, how's that gonna work? And Steve's like, hey, you know, it's Warner Brothers, it's a big label, they know what they're doing, blah 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 blah. And I figured, well, I gotta trust somebody, right? And so, and I'm asking Eric and Steve, what do they think? They say it's a great deal. We've talked to all the different labels. This is the biggest offer we've got. It's also the biggest offer we've seen for a band in Orange County ever here. So you guys might want to really consider this one. But important, we need to know right now. Because Guy Oseary doesn't play around. He wanted to make sure that he locked us in. And he had never seen us, ever. He just wanted to win, you know? And he had the bank to do it. And, you know, I made the decision there and said, yeah, we're going to sign with Maverick, with Warner Brothers. Let's do this. And so they said, okay, it's a done deal. We're going to meet Monday morning at the Maverick office. Tell all the boys, be there, and let's get rolling. And let's look forward to it. And I was like, oh my God. So I got to make the calls to all the guys. And finally, we had like our team. I mean, we got a team like the week before we got a record deal. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing happened quickly. So a lot of people wondered about the Wank deal when it happened, and it was just crazy. But anyway, that's magic. That's lightning striking, and it struck, man. Like, and this was all right before. I think it was right before Christmas. Felt like, or maybe. So anyway, it was like it was happening, and they were going to put our record out. They said it's going to take a second to get the marketing lined up, but we are going to put your record out. Get a grip on yourself. We're going to have Mark Trombino, who worked with Blink and these other bands, have him remix it, and then we're going to put it out. That album that you made, Get a Grip on Yourself, and it's going to be in March. So they had a couple months to set it up because everybody's gone from the music industry for like, the first month anyway. But anyway, March. So it was immediate basically, and then we were signed band. And it was crazy. Anyway, that's all I got for right now. Let me think about what happened next. But it was awesome. All right.